let's do a spoiler-free review of My Friends by Fredrick Backman, which comes out tomorrow. Thank you to Simon & Schuster for sending me this proof. I've been meaning to get into Fredrick Backman's work for the longest time, so this felt a long time coming. From what I already knew about his style of writing, if you are a legacy reader who has read like multiple Fredrick Backmans, I think you'll love this one quite a bit, because all those themes that I was expecting, they're out in full force. Like, this is a very Backman-y Fredrick Backman book, if that makes sense. I thought it was very good. I wouldn't necessarily say that I was the target audience for it. This book feels very Generation X, if that makes sense. Like, there's so many references to like the latchdoor generation and like kids. Like, remember when you were 14 and you went outside and with your friends and you were outside all day? And it's like, no, I don't know what that was like, because when I was 14, I was playing League of Legends. My friends were on a Discord server. I was inside all day. Like, I feel like that's, for a lot of Gen Z kids, that's the experience. Like, a generation that has always had technology, we were inherently quite indoors. And this is the opposite. This is very similar to like a lot of Stephen King books. Like, the first time I read Salem's Lot, it was so strange to me that the parents would just let these two small children walk through the forest on their own. But I suppose if you grew up in the 70s, yeah, that was the norm. Kids were just allowed to run wild, and this book very much harkens to that lifestyle. The whole thing is a back and forth nostalgia trip. So if you're someone that likes books that are really dynamic, where the characters are constantly in a state of movement, this might not be for you, because it's mostly people talking and reminiscing about their childhood. But it's very earnest, it's very tender. It's definitely like feel-good literature, which again, I wouldn't necessarily say is my kind of taste. I find that a bit saccharine, but there were some moments in this that I could appreciate. Like, I feel like it chilled my heart a little bit. Like, my heart grew 3 sizes by the end of this. Our main character, Louisa, she's just turned 18. She's like an orphaned street rat, and her best friend slash love interest has died, and so she's like devastated, and she wants to see this painting, the painting of the sea that's on the front of this book, because it was like special to her friend. And then she, for like a twist of fate, bumps into the original painter, and then she sort of unravels the story around the friends and how the friends are captured in the artwork of the painting, but most people don't notice that. They just see the sea around the friends. The story is very clever, because much in the same way that when you first look at a painting, there's the like immediate features, and then you slowly start to pick apart the finer details over time. That's exactly how the narrative is unraveled. Like, you start with the most obvious things about these characters, and then we gradually unpick their childhoods, find out where everyone left off, whether it was good or bad. And you know, Backman like keeps the cards very close to his chest. There's like reveals that you don't get until the last 50 or so pages. As I said when I first opened this, there's a clear sense of inspiration to Donna Tartt's The Goldfinch. In fact, at one point he even references Donna Tartt by name. I was like, I see you, Backman, I see you. This is very different to The Goldfinch though. Like, even though yes, they have the same ideas about artistry being like our eternal like mortality made manifest, like it's sort of the expression of our inner minds and our time and the people that were with us in those moments put into like an immortal canvas. I think The Goldfinch is probably more profound and more measured. There's a lot of things in this that are kind of kitschy or tropish, like they're very expected and predictable. But then I can't be mad at it, because I don't think it's trying to be subversive or different. Like, I think The Goldfinch is making more experimental choices. This is just trying to embody the sort of feel-good nostalgia trip of looking back at your childhood. So I can't really judge it too harshly for that, because it does that very well. There is a lot of comedic dialogue between Louisa and Ted, because most of the story is just them talking on a train together. I think it depends on your sense of humour. I think I was a bit too twisted for this book. A lot of the comedy beats, it feels a bit like a Hallmark Christmas film. Like, for me, it goes into like corny. that if you like, again, that sort of feel good type of story, you'll probably laugh at this, have a great time. For me, yeah, I don't know, I'm a bit too cynical. So Louisa, I mainly found her annoying. Like, she's a very typical precocious child character, and there are some times where you're just like, shh, shh. But the story is given her all the time because it finds her funny. So maybe you will. I think it depends on the person. I will say that a book like this is a great palate cleanser, because if you're anyone like me, you probably read a lot of really like uncomfortable suffering type stories where everything's quite strange and upsetting. There's sad moments, but the overall vibes are quite good. So this is quite like a cozy, comfy, oh, let's take a break from all of the devastating stories and read something that is sad but in a way that's true to real life. Like, it's not trying to really get you, it's more trying to make you appreciate the friendships and the people that you have in your life. But that was My Friends. As I said, it's not something I would particularly go for, but I'm not mad at it. As far as books go, it's very like cookies and warm milk. Like, it's very like, oh, like, even though people can criticize it for being unrealistic and like a bit of a fairy tale, I don't necessarily see that as a bad thing. If that's the sort of book that you enjoy, then there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I don't think it's trying to break barriers. It just wants to be an earnest conversation about the friends in your life, and why not? That's sweet.